Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the hour coverage of the TI4 North American Qualifiers here on the joinDota community channel. Game 1 was great here, CNB versus top 5 CNB with a great performance. But now we're gonna have the next game coming up. It's gonna be the North American Rejects versus kind of embarrassing, Shadows of the Past, of course. And this time around I'm not gonna be joined by Revo. He'll come back later though, so don't worry. But I'm gonna have another co-caster with me today. Victormont, welcome to the broadcast.
Good to be on Drag and Drop. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great, and hope you're doing too.
Absolutely. TI4, man. It's serious business.
Oh yeah, it is. Once again, I'm just so excited to be able to be casting this right now. So before we get into the game, just take a quick look at the standings that I've got going here. Revenge took the first game up against
Isurus.
Isurus, exactly. Ehag actually had to forfeit the match because Cakes was a little bit too late. So Union Gaming taking that fight. We of course saw CNB victorious on this stream, and the Sneaky Nicks Assassins also made their way. Really?
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah, they beat Shadows of the Past actually in the last game. SP has a really tough schedule. They face two of the top 3 teams as their first 2 games. I don't envy them by any means.
Right, so you weren't able to join the little bit of pre-show that we had earlier, so let's just catch up right now. Who do you think is going to take this qualifier in total?
I don't know. People are so divided between NAR and Liquid, right?
Yeah.
NAR has been looking better, honestly. Like, if you just take the combination of ADL, the Summit, everything like that, NAR looks better. But it's very hard to bet against Liquid. They have a little bit more of that TI level expertise. Although obviously NAR is full. Everybody on NAR has been to at least a couple TIs, but I feel like Liquid's just been together a little bit longer. I feel like they can pull it out. Yeah,
it'll come down to a little bit of luck, a little bit of consistency and the current shape that they're in right now and today. So, but definitely those 2 teams would be on the top, and of course the first team that goes through this will be able to qualify directly, but the second team is also going to be getting the chance to compete in the runners-up little tournament thing.
Right, the play-in match,
exactly. All right, without further ado, get into the game. What's the right? There we go. Yep. Draft already well underway. North American Rejects going out with the Luna as well as the Sand King in the 1-2. Batrider picked up by Shadows of the Past together with the Ancient Apparition. And that's a hero that we haven't seen too much of recently. Why do you think that is?
Ancient App has just... I think he's still very pickable. A lot of teams do still go to this hero. He's become a little less popular. He's very good in a 3v3 situation, and 3v3 laning in the early game has fallen out of favor a little bit. Especially with the rise of heroes like Sand King that really want to farm early in the game. You see a lot more teams running safe lane, tri-lane. If you're a 3v1, Ancient Apparition is a very weak 3v1 laner compared to somebody like Shadow Shaman. So he's just not really that useful when you're not doing those early fights. Does not bring a lot of disable power. Does bring, amazing damage, especially on his ultimate, so he's still pretty strong. Usually you don't see him this early, but if it's what Shadows of the Past have practiced with, if it's what they know, I think they should go with it. This team, so far from what I've seen from them today, they're not gonna... So Isurus, in my opinion, that team clearly wants to just run gimmick lineups, try to steal wins when they can. Shadows of the Past, I think they're taking a different approach. They're like, hey, we've scrimmed, we've practiced these lineups, that's what we'll run.
Yeah, and Ancient Apparition, he has been nerfed a little bit in the recent patch with the Chilling Touch, so it's less viable now, slightly, yeah.
I don't think it's that germane to his effectiveness. I think the meta's just moved a little bit away from where he was very dominant.
Yeah, perhaps. But as you said, it's still great up against, just with his ultimate, and that's what most teams have been picking him for in the past anyway. So if he just gets to the point where that ultimate is going to be really effective, namely level 2 and possibly with an Magnum Scepter, that's where it gets really, really scary, then Ancient Apparition will definitely be a big part of this game. No doubt about that. But the Rejects picking up the Brewmaster, and I've seen one game with the Brewmaster recently, and it was quite funny to watch.
Which game?
I'm not sure. I think it was a joinDota League match.
He's been getting really popular. All of a sudden, he's been just people picking this hero up all over the place. I mean, very strong. He's become a much stronger laner than he used to be.
Yeah.
He's always brought this ultimate power, and Korok's been playing him quite a bit. So NAR, one of the teams that's favoring this hero more relative to some others.
Brumas has always been a mid-game teamfight monster if he gets off to a good start. And especially with the changes to his abilities, so that it's a little bit more reliable when you get the crit and when you get the dodge. It's probably a big part of why people start to pick him up a little bit more. But Luna, the carry choice for NAR, definitely a very strong choice for them, and has never really fallen out of the meta per se. We've seen her picked off a little bit less, simply because there's other carries that hit other timings. But Luna is good early game if she's protected enough lane. That's going to be the problem. And Sand King, not exactly the best one to protect her. Sand King wants to try and farm up a couple of levels into the jungle, rather than babysitting a carry in lane.
That's very true. However, I don't think they have that much to worry about on that front, simply because they've seen, I mean, at this point, they've seen the Ancient App, they've seen the Rubik. Rubik is not a very strong, aggressive tri-lane hero. It really takes a lot to actually make that an effective aggressive try. And most likely you're just going to see AA and Rubik both on the safe lane. Shadows of the Past is Radiant, so they can do the Rubik safe lane creep pull trick, which would give him some extra levels. Nakes makes it a little more likely, but I still don't think so. I still think Shadows of the Past is just going to play pretty normally.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a bad routing on your team, you might as well send him in the off lane, and even if he doesn't have a good time there, then you can always fall back to the jungle and farm up, and if the Rubik is down there anyway, he might as well stack a couple of camps for him as well.
Exactly.
So that's what,
I agree.
Yeah. That's what makes Batrider such a good choice in pretty much any lineup. He's a great initiator, and he will always find his farm.
Oh yeah, Batrider is just a wonderful, strong laner, strong team fight, amazing initiation. He brings something to the table that so few other heroes do, which is a nearly guaranteed kill on one of the opponent's players. And, I mean, a lot of the time the other team feels like they have to go Lincolns. So he imposes like a 5 to 10k tax on the other team in the mid to late game. What a hero. And of course, he can carry a Lifestealer inside as well.
Yep. Not the most popular combo though, since the Batrider generally wants to hop in then get out. But problem is, on the other side there's a Tide Hunter, and if he's in position, that's quite a good counter initiation to a Batrider jump in. So in that situation, having Lifestealer right with you, popping out, popping Rage, and going to town to help bring down targets and kind of disrupt the fight a little bit, that's going to be more helpful in this situation.
I absolutely agree. And you are going to see Batrider, if this game drags on a little bit and he does get good farm, which is Batrider is very, very possible. They have a couple heroes that are not very greedy. Ancient Apparition doesn't really farm at all. He just builds his Aghanims off of hero kills. And Rubik, I mean, you want to give him some farm, but mostly it's hero kills as well. So Batrider is going to have the entire jungle to himself a lot of the time. You're going to see him go Blink, Force, and then probably BKB, maybe even before Boots of Travel. It depends on how the game goes.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense, especially now with the Bane picked up. So the Fiend Script does go through BKB, of course, and in that sense, it's a counter to the Lifestealer and also to the Batrider, even if he builds a BKB. But then again, you can only Fiend Script one of those two.
That's exactly true. And also, it is worth noting that you mentioned Enfeeble. If you Enfeeble the Lifestealer and he goes into Rage, it does stay on. Ooh, Silencer. Okay, they are getting a little clever. This is a mid Silencer, it looks like.
Yeah, Chicken and MC picking up. I think he's playing mid for them. Definitely an interesting pickup. I love seeing Silencer in a core position, because he brings out a lot of utility and also a lot of damage, especially if you get some early game kills, and you actually steal the intelligence. You don't just gain intelligence passively, you take them away from the enemy team. So it's gonna be especially good if you get kills on a Sand King or Brew or
Brew.
Yeah, or Brewmaster, heroes that are very mana dependent, but they don't have the biggest mana pool early on in the game.
Right.
And of course, the Global Silence is gonna be so great against everyone on the side of NAR. I mean, Luna at one point will be able to just right-click her way through anyway, but through the early and mid game, that is gonna be crucial to their team fight, that they do get their Ravage off, that they do get their Eclipse off, and the split as well.
I agree with you completely. I think global silence could be a huge factor if it's timed correctly, and if Chicken MC is able to live. If NAR now will always, if possible, initiate right onto silencer. They'll try to kill him so that the global silence is at an awkward time or doesn't get cast at all. Because I agree, it totally disrupts NAR's combo. In fact, in the early to mid game, there's also Fade Bolt to contend with, which actually will knock off a little bit of that Luna damage. And then when you consider the fact that she's AoEing, I mean, she's using her glaives to hit everybody at a time, it becomes a very, very important debuff. So yeah, Silencer, I mean, he is flimsy, but if they're able to make something happen, then they've obviously shared quite a bit with him. He has the 2 tangos, the salve, and the null talisman, so a high amount of damage. If he pulls int, as you highlighted, drag and drop, the one that I would really look at is Sand King, because these days Sand Kings generally don't build Arcane Boots before Blink, and the mana for your Blink Burrow Strike Epicenter, even though Blink costs no mana, is very, very thin, especially early on. And if he dies like 3 or 4 times and Silencer's in range, you actually could see that making a difference.
Yep, we'll have to keep an eye on that. So it doesn't look like there's going to be too much of an early aggression coming out of either of these teams, so time for us to run to our lineups. On the side of the North American rejects, we've got 1437 on the Bane, currently in the safe lane, placing down an early lane ward. Fogged, going to be playing the Sand King, and sneaking on the carry Luna, blocking the creeps right now. Korok, no surprise there, on the mid Brewmaster, which leaves Brax on the offlane Tidehunter.
Yep, and looking towards Shadows of the Past, they didn't win their first game against Sna, but here they go up against another favorite. We'll see how they manage to do this time. Last Hit Magic supporting on the Rubik. He's joined by Joik on the Ancient Apparition. They're in the safe lane supporting Risk. He's playing under the name 1, but this is the player Risk. He's on Lifestealer. Then in the middle, Chicken MC will be on the Silencer mid, and then the off lane is going to be Nayrok on the Batrider. Taking just a little bit of harassment from 1437 here. And these guys know each other pretty well. Nayrok, Chicken MC, Risk, these are all quite well-known NA Dota players. So these guys all know each other. They're all pretty friendly. We had some friendly banter in the lobby beforehand. But they know that they have an uphill battle. I mean, NAR is full of very, very, very high-tier players. And Shadows of the Past, they're promising. I've had a chance to cast a lot of these guys at some local lands in Montreal and Chicago, but it's going to be hard. Regardless of draft, it's going to be hard.
Yep. Especially up against seasoned players like NAR. I mean, their lineup's absolutely stacked with players that have been playing for a long time, that have been playing in previous internationals, and now top lane. Oh, yeah. Nayrok gonna eat a Nightmare. Fort is right there, it's followed up with a Burst Strike. And yeah, just a couple of right clicks. This is gonna be enough though. Firefly's already running, and yeah, first blood. Going the way of 1437 here.
Ouch. Pretty easy kill on the whole. I mean, Bane, when he has that Nightmare available, it's a ton of time that your Sand King has to walk up. That's usually the problem with trying to get kills with Sand King, right, is the range of Burrow Strike level 1. Not a problem with Bane, because he disables the person for about an hour. But that's okay. Bat dies in the offlane a lot, and it's actually usually fine, because all you really want is to hit like level 3 or 4, and then you go jungle.
Yeah. But he definitely has to be careful about not getting too close to 1437 again, because next time, if sneaking is in range for that as well, don't want to get some farm on Luna as early. Don't want to feed her as much, if possible.
Some interesting choices. This mid lane is obviously a fairly unusual matchup, so you see both players going for skill builds that you don't commonly see. Silencer has no points in glaives, which we can discuss a little more, but he is using that Curse of the Silent consistently on Korok as well as the Last Word. Korok's responded by taking a point in Drunken Haze earlier than almost anybody does, because Drunken Haze is much, much cheaper to cast than his Thunderclap.
Yeah, he realizes he's probably not going to have too much mana to play with if the Curse of the Silent comes out as a lot of the time. Yep. It was level 1, now it's level 2, so that's much more effective than level 1 is. And another thing, Last Word is a oh, no. He dies again. Alright, I missed that, but it looks like the same kind of combo was used here.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly the same thing happened. It's really not surprising. As offlane Batrider...
Orc is gone upon. Last Word is used. He's silenced, but Bane rotating in is enough to keep him safe.
So this is a level 1 Rubik. Rubik has fairly poor damage. Then you consider the fact that he doesn't have Fade Bolt to add. He just has Telekinesis, and maybe this was a little bit early. Maybe they could have waited for Rubik level 2 or something. But unfortunately, that means no kill on Korok.
Yeah, not yet anyway. And Chicken MC out of mana right now. He does have a couple of bottle charges though, so he will be able to keep up the spam. Korok is bottle throwing though, so This middle lane matchup, especially with the failed gank, should be relatively even, and it is looking at the CS now.
Yeah, the thing is that Curse of the Silent at level 1, he cast it a lot when he had level 1 Curse of the Silent, and it costs much more mana than it actually drains. And even at level 2, if it lasts the entire time, it only drains as much mana as it costs. So you don't end up that far ahead, except for the fact that obviously his mana pool is better than Korok's in general. Korok's been very diligent about bottle crowing, and in fact he's going to get the haste rune as well.
Yep, Brax has been out for him. Well, he's actually stacking Ancients, or trying to. Not gonna get it off this time. But yeah,
Snaking is going to start whacking the tower up top as well. So NAR, this is pretty much all according to plan so far.
Yeah, who do you think who do you think this passive laning stage is favoring more, NAR or
NAR.
maybe SP?
I think NAR definitely. Luna has this very like baseline effectiveness threshold where she has to get a few levels. She wants to rush BKB or Helma the Dominator or both. And then she's able to rocket past, whereas Silencer and Lifestealer, both of whom are not tremendously effective flash farmers, can get to. So I think SP will be happy that they're not just getting like blown out and not a lot of roaming, so they're okay. And Silencer certainly has a baseline effectiveness threshold as well. But for NAR, I think they're very happy with how this is going so far.
I would agree. In getting farm in your Luna is always lane. Gonna be a stomp on Chicken MC. He's gonna eat a couple of right clicks there. But Korok, yeah, he doesn't have enough damage. Could have used a split, but not in the enemy jungle.
Brax is very adventuresome here, heading all the way into the jungle, and they don't punish him for it either. So he's almost level 5. You can see Brax is doing the new school Tidehunter build. He's probably going to take another rank in Anchor after this, so he'll be 1-1-3. Starting at 3 ranks of Anchor, you can actually start Ancienting if you want, so you might see Tidehunter using that before Luna's ready, unless they just want to give everything to Luna.
Yeah, but even if he doesn't farm up too much, he will always be a factor once he hits level 6. He doesn't need too much farm for that unless he wants to initiate with the Ravage.
Agreed.
Yes,
so I mean, Korok is doing... you pick Silencer a lot because he's able to effectively bully in lane. I think in this case they picked him more for the global sounds than for the lane bullying, because it's certainly a fact that Chicken MC is not successfully beating Korok in lane. Korok has better last hits, he's farming just fine, he hasn't had to leave lane. I mean, he's actually, yeah. Currently deciding what he wants to buy, I think. He walked into Roche a couple times. Okay, he's just getting his bottle back from the courier, because I think he's going to go straight Blink. That's typically the build.
Yeah. Definitely also a good initiation tool, even without the Blink on Sanking, but Fox is well on his way to that as well. He's been stacking up camps close to the lane. Been using Sandstorm, just doing away.
Yep.
And he'll get his Blink at a decent clipping, yeah. About 10 minutes.
Yeah, he'll get it quite quickly. I mean, he has
yoink. He was so dead. Caught the tail end of that. Looked like Korok just walking up.
Yeah, that's what Brew does when he has this rank 4 clap, I mean, and the fact that your first hit is a guaranteed crit is very big. The crit already, it doesn't scale in damage like Wraith King's crit. It starts at the right damage and it just scales the percentage chance. So as long as you have 1 rank and you get that guaranteed crit, it's for the full magnitude. More than enough to kill level 3 Ancient Apparition. That's the problem right now for SP, is the support levels aren't there, and NAR keeps roaming into their jungle to make sure the support levels don't get there. Rubik's 2, sorry, he's 3, AA is 3.
Nerok. I think he saw Korok rotating in. Chicken MC, yeah, he knows what's up. Fucking Haze comes out, but
I don't think they kill him.
Yeah, he retreated quickly enough so that Korok would have been taking too much damage from the tower. So definitely not an easy kill there. He wisely retreats.
Yeah, Narok's been unlucky. He got a Mud Golem spawn very early in his medium camp over here. So now he's trying to stack some alternate camps. He does get this stack. This is a good healthy one. He can try to bounce between here and the easy, or here and here. You can actually even do a little triangle.
Yep. I think once this heads into the mid game, once these heroes get their core items, Link for Sanking as well as Bat Rider, then we'll start the action unfold a little bit more.
Definitely.
But 1 for 3-7, fuck, they're now smoked up. They want to go and Chicken MC. Yes, we play very careful. If he walks down the Tilden River, yeah.
Okay, good.
They actually showed themselves a little bit too early. If he went down into the river, then they would have probably been able to catch him out.
Maybe. Although if he was already playing pretty carefully, you could see he was staying on this side because supports weren't in vision. That's just good warding from SP because they desmoke and obviously immediately it's he has the full knowledge of where they are. So that's a good save. As silencer, actually, because his range is global, if he presses, even if he is in a worse position, if he presses global silence as soon as he sees them, like the instant he sees them, he probably makes it out.
Yeah, but then again, you don't want to pop the global silence like that.
Absolutely, but it's still worth compared to dying.
Yeah. Yeah, that does mean that NAR would have a big opening to go for towers, to go for pickers all across the map.
I agree.
Korok's actually sitting on the sidelines right now.
Yeah.
Making sure that no one's roaming in the jungle. Try and gank Brax on 1437, who are pushing the lane right now.
There's an interesting bifurcation where the cores of SP are doing quite well in terms of leveling. Sal ahead and Lifestealer Risk was ahead until right now. But the supports are struggling compared to NAR supports, who have, one of them has his ult, and then 1437 has his ult as well. Rubik level 4 is pretty useless as a hero.
Especially 10 minutes into the game. Usually want to have at least your ultimate to be able to get some crucial steals off.
I wonder how much trouble Risk knows he's in versus how much he's actually in. He's dead. Oh no, he's not! Nice global.
Yep, and now 1437 might be in trouble with Nerok here with showing up the Blink Dagger. He has a lasso available, gets Korok. 1437 still alive, someone throws out a Nightmare, but now he will be swatted down by the Lifestealer. Chicken MT, not part of the fight for now. But now he's kind of caught between a fight, as we see Lifestealer being brought down by Korok, and yeah, the rest of the team kind of just hung around here between the tier 2 and tier 1, not helping him. There's gonna be Ravage. Nerok clapped down, he will fall. Joik slowed down as well. 1 or 2 more auto attacks will be enough to kill that kill as well. Korok getting quite low because of the creeps, and Chicken MC clicking away at him, but the bottle charges, as well as the dodge coming out for him, means that Chicken MC not able to do a whole lot here. He will die as well. That's an ultra kill for a Brewmaster. It just goes to show, as I mentioned in the draft, he's a teamfight monster.
He is. Grant in his write-up for Liquid Dota, like talked about him being the Rampage King, and people were kind of skeptical just because people haven't watched Korok Dota.
Oh, top lane! Oh no!
Nice.
Fox was sitting in the sidelines right here, winding up the epicenter, going in, and easy 2 kills here. It was crucial that he got the burst strike on Lifestealer as quickly as he did. Otherwise, then the rage would have meant that wouldn't have been as successful, but as it stood, Lifestealer just melted to that, and Rubik, of course, still level 4. Lasted magic, not able to stand up to any of that stuff either. Even though he went 1 point into the null field early. That's an interesting build.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that. I mean, there is a ton of magic damage coming out of NAR, and Nullfield does an underrated ability in terms of if you're able to defend against magic. Like 5% magic resist across your entire team
mid lane.
can add up to a lot.
Oh no. Gorg is going on Joik here, blinked, bump, did a lot of damage, but Cold Feet? Good tower damage enough to ward him off.
Yeah, but it's no damage essentially. It's just, it actually is very smart and very restrained of Korok to not do that. I know a certain version of Korok that would have always dived that, and potentially died, because if they TP'd in behind him, they could pick him off. He doesn't have ult, so...
If he had that haste rune in his bottle, like 20 seconds ago, then he would have definitely gone for that. But he just picked it up now. But now, Lasted Magic gonna be the next one on the list. Gonna lift Korok back, and now the silence coming out, but it's not gonna be enough to save him. Haste rune's already going, Chicken MC trying to run for his life. Korok now, with the teleport coming in once again from Joik, has to run away once again. He'll bottle up and looks like he wants to go again. He's setting up shop at the same spot.
That's how he won the last fight. He had them focus a lot of effort into him, but not enough effort to kill him, and then just ulted. And when a Brewmaster ults after you've poured damage into him, it's very hard to win the fight, because it's almost like you have a certain amount of like fight ability, right? And you spent a lot of it on nothing, because he still gets the ult off.
Yeah. Then you have to kind of hold out until the ult is over, and then you can kill him again. But in the time, usually Brewmaster's just gonna... Yeah, it's a long time. Usually in that time, the Brewmaster will just be able to whack your face in with his 3 spirits.
Yep. Armlet done for Risk. Armlet becoming less of a ubiquitous item on Lifestealer, but still obviously very strong. Especially if you're getting kind of brought down slowly by like a few people just hitting you like the Brewmaster. You can You can try, although the issue is if you're very, very low and you try to armlet toggle, there's a chance that the Brewmaster Radiance on the pseudo Radiance on the Fire Panda takes you out.
Yep. Definitely gonna have to be careful for that, but I think they realize that they need to have something that they can fight with right now. They can't commit to a farming war up against heavy initiation coming up from NAR. So, I mean, SP has great single target initiation with Narok. But when it comes to AoE initiation, you have the Light Hunter now with the Blink Dagger complete. Brax can just Blink Ravage whenever, tanking there to initiate or follow up, depending on the situation, with some more massive AoE damage. Then the Brewmaster can also blink in, so highly mobile lineup here.
Right.
And then Luna can just farm, and once they need sneaking, then he will be able to come in, do some Bouncing Glaives, do some Eclipse damage, and that'll be that.
Yeah, mobility, definitely the name of the game. It's just a lot of teams really favor heavy mobility, and if you can amass 3 Blink Daggers on your 5-person team as quickly as NAR have, you gain a very, very big advantage against the team that really their only blinker is Bat Rider, and you feel you have ways of dealing with that. They're going to try to counter-smoke, though. They know that NAR is smoked up. They don't know where. They don't know how close they are, which is very, very close, but Narok's going to give it a shot on this Luna, I think.
Leaking is baying it out, so it's gonna be the Ice Blast coming in as well, but the counter initiation not gonna be there because of the global silence. Exactly the right timing, and sneaking will actually fall here. One or risk just going to town on him, and now he has Brax right in front of him, but the rage wears off, Ravage comes out. Chicken MC died as well as the Bat Rider now, lasted magic. He's caught, eats all of the Eclipse damage. And Lifestealer, he has another rage in a couple of seconds, but it was a little bit too late, gets stunned up by Fog. That's 4 heroes down. Been giving up to Luna, oh. He died too, alright. Didn't even realize he was still in the fight. I thought he got away, but...
Korok. You can't really get away from a Brewmaster if he's even awake, basically.
Yeah.
If he decides he wants to chase you down, he will. And he lifted the AA in the Cyclone, and then when he felt like it, he dispelled and killed him. Yeah, really rough. This fight started pretty well for SP, but... Global Silence, it lasts, you know, it's 4 seconds, but it's not always enough. Because they still got ravaged. They were able to bring down sneaking. They actually did a very good job. He cast Eclipse, and 0 ticks of it happened. It's pretty rare, so usually you get at least 1.
Yeah.
But they don't even need it. They don't even need the Eclipse.
No, they don't. I mean, it's great that they got the carry, but now they might get him again. Risk with, and the ultimate comes in. Is it gonna be in range? No, not quite. Sneaking will not get hit by that, so now gonna go again. Rage wears off, and that opens up the Lifestealer to a variety of spells. Lasted magic. Gonna die immediately. But he did get enough space for his carry to at least escape. Or maybe not. Blink Dagger comes out, but the rage is up again. Armlet targeting will help him get out alive here. But Chicken MC died in mid. Did you catch that? Happened there?
No, actually, sorry. I was watching the action bottom as well. How did he... Well,
Oh, yeah, it looks like Korok happened. Alright.
Yeah, Korok happens. He's 8-0-1. He's like... Korok... It's been a while, but since he's really been on the world stage, but definitely showing that he's still an absolute contender.
Big Ice Blast coming in, but it's only level 1, so it doesn't do too much damage on its own. If you don't have the follow-up, then it's not as scary. Ideally, you want to have the Ice Blast hit and then immediately follow it up with some burst damage. But no one really in position to defend this tower. And it's really hard if you're not already in position to try and go up to the high ground there and try and defend.
Right.
Not something that you usually want to do, especially up against an AoE-centric lineup, like from the rejects.
Absolutely. I think NAR's lineup here is just very, very, very classic for this patch, like, or at least what we've seen of it so far. You have a safe lane, tri-lane, at least one support is sort of a somewhat greedy Blink Dagger support like Sand King, and you just have a lot of teamfight, and you force teamfights really, really early when you have an advantage. And I mean, they're just playing the lineup the way you'd expect it to be played, and they're executing properly, and it's a very, very crisp start to their TI4 qualifier. Oh god, Chicken MC's dead, I think.
Yeah, maybe not. It's Korok's being lifted up, and Chicken MC's balling up a little bit, but yeah, the Earn ticking down on him, he's gonna fall. That's where it fell in the backlines of that. Korok is godlike, and yeah, we just saw that come up. Shout out to a Statsman.
He's gonna be beyond.
Once again, forgot to... what?
The dueling sensors.
Yeah, but lasted magic. Gonna get the worst the worst end of the straight. Fog taking quite some tower damage here, but yeah, he should be alright. Sandstorm dodges the last bit a little bit. A ultimate also not gonna...
Why didn't you let go of it? Interesting. He's dead. So, R.I.P. Fog just stealing kills. That's a pure kill steal. Oh my god.
Yeah, shout out to Statsman Petty. Sorry, I forgot to introduce you again at the start, but now, yeah, Korak is well on his way to that 12 kill record. Didn't get 9, now going in Lifestealer, but that's not the easiest target to go on alone, but now, Rage once again, off cooldown.
He's got Blink, Bane, Fiend's Grip. Let's see if... Oh, Korak, do you see how he's trying to... Oh, he actually gave it. He let Bane have it. Korak, what a team player.
Okay. Well, he has his Agnum Scepter, so what else does he really want at this point?
He wants the Beyond Godlike streak, excuse me?
Well, maybe he wants to get 1437, a Beyond Godlike streak. I mean, how embarrassing would that be?
Getting Bane a Beyond Godlike streak is some doing. Meanwhile, Chicken MC forced to... Again, as you said, you generally don't want to be using the Global Silence for things like this, but he had to.
Yeah. That means that it's now on cooldown for 2 more minutes. So NAR just... And the Creeper is already coming in, they're gonna take this tier 2 tower. Oh yeah. Especially with Lasted Magic instantly dying here as well. Yeah, it's tanking. Yeah. Also, yeah, he stole one of the kills, so maybe that's part of that.
Fog is 50172. I mean, yeah, honestly, this is just...
pretty good.
It's a very tough game in general for SP. They were not favored. NAR is showing why they're sort of considered the favorite or one of the 2 favorites. And SP, I mean, they're doing their best. They did okay, I think, but it's just not that close. And any fair contest between these 2 teams is not going to be super close.
Now tier 3 gonna take some damage, and it's really hard for SP to try and initiate here. Because whatever target they go on, the others will just turn around and smack you in the face. I mean, sneaking is well farmed as well. I mean, he's sitting on top of the net worth chart, actually, with 13,000 gold, even 3,000 more than Korak. He has a Yashi, he has a Hum of the Dominator, as well as the Manta Style now done, BKB as well, so... if you go on sneaking, then you better bring him down before he can do anything. But then again, if you get sneaking down, there's always Korak, there's Brax, and there's Fogged. 1437 for that single target lockdown for the Lifestealer as well. So it's really hard for SP to initiate or try and contest this Roshan. The Ice Blast comes out though, that's gonna make it a little bit harder for NAR to get this. And Lifestealers infested into Narok. Gonna jump in, but it's a little bit too late. Ravage comes out though. 2 heroes already dead, sneaking, going to town with the BKB proc. Men fighting up against the Lifestealer. And it's actually Armlet talking his way, and yeah. Stayed along longer than I expected here. Narok. Gonna die as well, Epicenter committed. Just because the GG has already been called in Shadows of the Past. Take another loss here, and the Rejects putting themselves on the board with a very, very solid performance. 2072. Nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, NAR came to play, as they should. I mean, they are one of the favorites, but they shouldn't rest on their laurels. In this game, you see them playing correctly, crisply, not effing around. I mean, a little bit of like creative kill stealing, but other than that, they came to play, they came to win. They knew that they can't afford to lose to SP if they're gonna come out first in the playoff seeding. It's pretty important to be in that winner's bracket rather than that loser's bracket, so you have 2 shots rather than 1. And NAR, they're 1 step along that path.
Yep. Alright, this concludes game number 2, another quick one here for us. We're gonna have Union Gaming versus CMB Esports once again up in a little bit. I think in about 40 minutes once again, if I'm not mistaken. And Revo will be joining me for that one as well. So, thank you very much for listening. Vikrament, where can they find you in terms of social media?
Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, .com, same name, VYKROMOND. And yeah, I think I'm back a little later in 2 games, 1 game.
Yep. Next game will be CMB game with Revo, and after that, you'll be joining me once more for the night, if you're still up for it.
Of course. All right. Chat with you later.
All right. See you later. All right. Let's also not forget Petty. He just disconnected from game, so a big shout out to him. Go check him out on Twitter as well. But for now, gonna be drag and drop. Taking a break.